Yes. After the brief introduction of vectors, a lot of portion of vectors you have already discussed in your 11th standard. You have made the use of vectors in class 12 many times, but as it is prescribed in your syllabus, that we have to start with the dot product as well as cross product, and then we will come to that is scalar triple product and vector triple product and other new properties of vector. But it is quite good to start with the previous ones and to come on the new things. Okay, so today in this lecture we will discuss dot product. This is dot product. Okay, so let me say that if we have two vectors, vector A as well as vector B, so we have, let us see, let me adjust. So vector A and let us suppose this is vector B. This is vector A, then this is vector B, and this is the angle between them. Theta is the angle between them. So dot product, you all know what is the dot product? Vector A dot B will be equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, and cos of the smaller angle between A and B. Okay, so this is you already discussed. Now this is A means magnitude of A, this is magnitude of B, and cos theta. All are pure numbers, and hence A dot B will be a pure number, and that is why dot product will always be a scalar quantity. It will always be a scalar quantity, and that is why dot product is also known as scalar product. It is also known as scalar product. So the beauty of this thing is that now there is no need to tell me all the times whether a quantity is a scalar or vector. For example, if I write work, and you know work is dot product of force and displacement. So now as it is dot product, so we all know work will be a scalar quantity. Similarly, you have studied in class 12 flux. What is flux? E dot ts. Again, it is a dot product, so it will be a scalar quantity. So dot product of two vectors is always a vector quantity, and hence I can say dot product is also known as a scalar product. Okay, now let us discuss few properties of dot product. I can say properties. I will discuss properties. So number one, I told you that it will always be a scalar quantity. Okay. Number two, if the two vectors are parallel vectors. Okay, if the two vectors are parallel, or let us suppose let's start only with the parallel vectors. Okay, so then what is theta? Theta will be 0, and you know cos 0 is 1. It will have maximum value. Cos cannot be greater than 1. So A dot B will be magnitude of A, magnitude of B, and cos theta, that is 1. So the dot product will be magnitude of vector A and B. That will be maximum dot product of two vectors can be magnitude of A and B. Okay. For example, if and similarly, if I take dot product of the vector with itself, A dot A, कोई भी वेक्टर जो है वो अपने साथ खुद के साथ कितना एंगल बनाएगा? 0 डिग्री का एंगल बनाएगा बेटा. Okay, it will make an angle of 0 degree with itself, and hence A dot A will be magnitude of A, cos 0 1. So it becomes A square. Okay, so whenever vector is multiplied by dot product with vector itself, it will give you the square of the vector. Okay, for example, if I take unit vector along x-axis I, And if I take dot product with I, what will be I? Magnitude of I is 1. Then it is again 1. And cos 0 is also 1. So I dot I becomes 1. Similarly, if I talk about J, sorry, it is dot product, not cross product. Okay, we are discussing dot product. So J dot J again, and similarly K dot K, it will also be 1. So we will use this result. Okay, when we will discuss scalar triple product as well as vector triple product, it will be quite important result for me. Okay, I know most of the things we have already discussed in your 11th standard, but as the part of your syllabus, we have to discuss all this. Okay, now let us start with third property, that if the two vectors are perpendicular with each other, the two vectors are perpendicular, they have 90 degree with each other. Okay, then what is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0, which implies dot product will also be 0. Means whenever you have to prove that the two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then in that case you have to prove that the two vectors the dot product of two vectors will give me 0. Okay, for example, I dot J, I is a unit vector along x-axis, y is unit vector along, okay, so the angle between them is 90 degree. So I dot J, it becomes equal to 1 into cos 90, and that cos 90 becomes 0. Similarly, if I type J cross K, similarly K cross I, whole becomes equal to 0. When the two vectors are perpendicular, the dot product will always be 0. So this is also quite important result. Next, move towards when the two vectors are anti-parallel. And the two vectors are anti-parallel. Okay, theta becomes 180. And what is value of cos 180? Yes, cos 180 is -1. Minimum. So dot product will also be, it is minus AB beta, and it will have minimum value. So in this way, we can say dot product, it lies between magnitude of dot product. Okay, magnitude or itself a magnitude, scalar quantity है ना भाई, तो क्या आ जाएगा बेटा? It will always be less than or equal to A dot B, and which is further AB. Means dot magnitude of dot product always lies between minus AB to AB. Okay. Now, so let us move towards next thing, that if we have to write this in terms of Cartesian coordinate, what is the Cartesian coordinates? I, J, and K, X, Y, and Z. You have discussed two type of coordinates. One is your, what is that called? What is called Cartesian coordinates, X, Y, Z, and other coordinates पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट. कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर नहीं पढ़े हैं, कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर में पढ़े होंगे आप लोगों ने, कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री में भी यूज किया होगा. इट वाज r थीटा फाई, पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट हमने डिस्कस किए हैं. सो वी हैव टू टाइप ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स. ओके, सो इफ आई टॉक अबाउट कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट, सो वी नो वेक्टर a can be written as ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Similarly, vector b is, it is bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. So a dot b, it will become, now simple as जैसे आप लोग प्रोडक्ट करते हो, ax bx क्या होगा, i dot i 1 हो जाएगा. अगर मैं इसकी इस टर्म से मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा बेटा तो i dot j आएगा, and I dot j becomes 0. Similarly, in this term, it will be I dot k. It again becomes 0. So we get only what I got, only ax bx plus, similarly j वाले टर्म को उठाएंगे हम, सो j को आप करेंगे बेटा, j को I के साथ, तो j and I 0, then it becomes j dot j becomes equal to 1, so I get ay and this is by. Similarly we will get az bz. तो याद करने का बड़ा आसान सा तरीका क्या करते थे हम लोग कि I को I से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, j को j से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो और k को k से मल्टीप्लाई कर लो. So it will be dot product of the two vectors we will get. Okay. Moreover, if we talk about one last thing in this topic, dot product. Okay. If we have vector A, let us suppose that it is represented by OP, and we have another vector B, okay, and it theta. We know if dot product की बात करूं मैं, तो A dot B कितना होता है बेटा? It is A B cos theta होता है. Okay. Now, if I draw a projection from B, projection perpendicular on OP. So this projection is OM. Okay. So now, if I talk about OM, so OM upon B, it becomes equal to cos theta. So OM, है ना? प्रोजेक्शन जो हो गया, OM क्या चीज है यहाँ पर? प्रोजेक्शन है. So प्रोजेक्शन क्या आ जाएगा आपके पास? B cos theta. So now if I talk about this equation, I can write it as A, and this is B cos theta. So A is your OP and B cos theta is OM. Means dot product can be defined as magnitude of one vector, magnitude of vector A multiplied by projection of vector B on vector A. Okay. Similarly, रिवर्स कर सकते हैं आप, B का मैग्नीट्यूड लेकर A का B पर प्रोजेक्शन ड्रा कर सकते हैं. आप कहेंगे A का कैसे B पर प्रोजेक्शन आएगा? देखो जरा, इस केस में मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, इसको थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ाना पड़ेगा और यहां से क्या करेंगे, इसके ऊपर एक हम परपेंडिकुलर ड्रा कर देंगे बेटा. ये परपेंडिकुलर ड्रा हो गया हमारे पास. ओके. सो नाउ अगर मैं बात करूं O, this is N. If I ask you what is the projection of A on B, then it will be ON. So now you can take ON, okay, upon A. Sorry, ON upon A की बात करेंगे आप, it will become cos theta. Okay, तो ON क्या आ गया बेटा? फिर से A cos theta आ गया कि नहीं आ गया? तो आपकी जो डॉट प्रोडक्ट थी A dot B, it can be written as A cos theta into B. So A cos theta is ON and OB is, जो भी आप इस वेक्टर को नाम दे लें, लेट अस सपोज इसको मैं क्यू लिख देता हूं यहाँ पर, so it will becomes equal to OQ. So OQ is one vector B, and what is ON? Projection of A on B. So in what we do, one vector we consider and we take projection of second vector on the first vector. Okay. Similarly, one more property, let me discuss. Dot product जो होती है बेटा, it is commutative. I think this you have already heard this word, commutative. Commutative simply means A dot B will be equal to B dot A. Okay. For example, it is A dot B. Okay, so you write it A B cos theta, and this may be further written as B A cos theta. Okay, and then or it can be written as B dot A, or simply